this video, we're going to look at creating a two-way lookup in Excel. And this is primarily geared towards people who have older versions of Excel who don't have the XLOOKUP function, which can perform a two-way lookup. So we're going to use the index and match functions together to do that. So you can see here I have a data set of loan records, and my lookup value is this loan ID. That's the unique value. But if you look at the data set, the loan ID column is in the middle of the data, and you cannot use the VLOOKUP function to pull back the values to the left of that, because the VLOOKUP moves from left to right, meaning that the lookup column has to be the leftmost column. So we're going to use index and match together to create a two-way lookup. So before I begin, I want to show you how these functions behave by themselves. So we have the index function. The first input is the array, so that's going to be this entire data set here. And then we have a row number input and a column number input. So right now I'm just going to manually key in some hard values here. So I said row 5, column 5. So from our array in the first argument, that's going to return row number 5, column number 5. So that returns this value here. So what we want, instead of hard-coded values here for these row and column inputs, is something dynamic that returns the number position based on a lookup. And that's where the match function comes in. What the match function does is it returns the position of a lookup value of where it's found in an array. So if I perform the match on this lookup value here, and the second input is my lookup array, which would be this column here, and the match type, I want an exact match, so that's going to be 0. That's going to return position 8. And if we look in this column, that lookup value is found on row 8. We can do the same thing horizontally. So if I want to find the position of where the text in this cell is located in this row of headers, again, I want an exact match. That's going to return position 2 because it's found in the second cell or the second column of this row of headers. So now we're going to combine these two functions together. So we have our array, which is going to be this entire data set here. So you do need to lock this down because we're going to drag this formula across when we're done, and we want this column reference to stay fixed. So I hit F4 or put $signs in front of the references here to keep that locked. So for our row input, we're going to use match. So our lookup value is going to be this cell here. I want to hit F4 to lock that down. Our lookup array is going to be our loan ID column because that's our lookup column. Again, want to hit F4 to lock that down, and we want 0 for an exact match. For our column reference, again, we're going to use the match. And one very important thing here that I need to mention: the values in this results area, these headers here, have to be the same as the values in the dataset headers. This will not work if they are not the same. It does not matter what order they are in over here. They can be in a different order, but they have to be the same. There can't be duplicate header values. So our first lookup value is going to be this cell here. That can remain relative because we're going to drag this across, and we want these headers to move with our drag. But for our lookup array, we want to select this row of headers here, and we want to hit F4 to lock that down. We want that to stay fixed. It has to stay fixed. So then our final input is the type of match we want. Again, we want an exact match, so that's 0. And so I will drag this to the right. You may have to format the cells here depending on your data types, but you can see this returns all of the data for this lookup value. So that's an auto loan for branch 2, interest rate 6.22, original balance, and current balance. If I change this to something else, it's going to update automatically. The other thing that's nice about this is, like I said, these headers don't have to be in any particular order. So if I wanted to change how these are displayed, I could make this loan type and this location, and it updates automatically. Well, that is all for now. Thanks for watching.